right? So while the rest of the country strives and works hard towards success, the City of Tshwane has spent well over 3 million rand of taxpayers' money to pay someone who's been inactive for almost 2 years. Senior manager Governor that is, was suspended for allegedly misrepresenting his qualifications, but has not stopped receiving his monthly six-figure salary. So the city's chief of staff, Jordan Griffiths, joins me now to discuss this matter further. Jordan, thank you so much for your time this evening. Can you just tell me what the status is like of Gordon? Why was he, Governor that is, why was he placed on suspension in the first place?
Sure. So in 2019, the Tshwane Council took a decision in line with Section 56 of the Municipal Systems Act, which speaks to the disciplining of top-level managers, to suspend Mr. Gordon pending the implementation of disciplinary proceedings to investigate and establish the veracity of the fact that he misrepresented his qualification when he was initially hired. Subsequently to that decision, the city, as you may well be aware, was placed under administration in March of 2019, and for 8 months, processes didn't move, in fact, at all. Subsequently to that, when council was reinstated, they were reinitiated. Thereafter, Mr. Governor approached the Labour Court to have the decision set aside on an urgent basis. That was thrown out for a lack of urgency, and thereafter he approached the Labour Court again to have it placed on the normal roll, which further delayed our disciplinary processes. And that was only dismissed for about the middle of this year, whereby the normal CCMA proceedings could now proceed and hearing dates could then be set to actually interrogate these disciplinary proceedings. So it's been an incredibly challenging process to ensure that we can wrap up and conclude on these disciplinary matters, because it is a strain on the ratepayer.
Yeah, it is a strain on the ratepayer, and if we have to confirm, is he qualified or is he not qualified to do the job?
Yeah, so we obviously can't make any kind of assumptions on that. I'm not able to comment on those claims because this is a pending legal matter. So I also have to guard what I say, because I can't misrepresent my employer or try and undermine the process that still needs to follow through. Obviously, council has taken a formal decision to suspend him based on what is prima facie evidence that there was misrepresentation. That has to be affirmed. The challenge with local government and these kind of processes is that they are incredibly heavily legislated, and that once you have concluded the disciplinary processes, you have to then take them back to council, that council can make a final decision. And obviously with the administrators in office, the dissolution, and with lockdown, the actual Labour Court and even the CCMA have been incredibly hamstrung to follow through on what we need of them. And it's been incredibly frustrating. We're not the only institution that is struggling on this basis. You may recall in March, a report was released that there are 6,344 civil servants at both provincial and national level who have been suspended, some for over 2 years, at a cost of 2.5 billion rand yearly that is being paid for suspended salaries. And I think a large portion of that is that our colleagues in provincial and national leadership are encountering the same challenges we are, which is that in many cases, the discipline, even the legislation that regulates processes must occur, has been incredibly difficult to implement over the last year and a half.
Yeah, but then at the same time, as you and I are having this conversation, Jordan, he's cashing in. It does not necessarily mean that he stops getting paid because you and I are having a conversation about the stringent as well as the process of actually getting a disciplinary process underway officially for him. Whilst you and I are talking, he's going ka-ching.
You're quite right. No, it's totally unacceptable. And this unfortunately is the law. That's how it works. As I indicated to you earlier, there are 6,344 other suspended civil servants in the rest of the country, all on full pay. We are not allowed to terminate someone unless we follow due process. And it's even harder when they are a Section 56 top manager in terms of the Systems Act, because the disciplinary processes are actually legislated in terms of, I'll be very, very brief. They require that you must table accusations to council. Council must deliberate. They must then allow the employee to provide a response. That response must come back, be retabled to council, and then council can make a decision to refer for investigation. That investigation disciplinary process must occur, and then come back to council, and council must take a final decision. And in all of this process, that employee may at some point decide to take the process to court, which delays everything in terms of getting feedback. And so it is incredibly frustrating because it creates an immense strain on the ratepayer. And you are 100% right. I'm not going to defend Mr. Previn Governor, and I don't even want to defend the process. But it is the process we have to follow. If we don't follow it, we would face litigation and we would face cost orders against us, which would cost us even more. So I share your frustration.
Yeah. Just out of interest, how many suspended civil servants in the city of Tshwane do we have currently that are earning a salary? Apart from Previn Governor, how many other people have been suspended and are still cashing in on the city?
I could not even confirm that number to you, but I can say that it is not high. We do track it on a monthly basis, and our discipline processes are relatively robust because as I said, one of the differences is that we have collective agreements that regulate everyone else who isn't a Section 56 top manager. So Mr. Governor is particularly unique because his appointment is an appointment of council. And so council has to deliberate on everything that he does. Any other employee at a junior level or above is actually disciplined through a collective agreement, which is signed through by unions. So those processes are very different, and they're also far more efficient. But unfortunately, I couldn't comment on the actual number of total suspended officials in the city of Tshwane. I don't have those details, unfortunately.
All right, so if you have to give a quick estimate, Jordan, is it in the teens? Is it in the hundreds? Is it in the 50s? Where are we sitting? If you have to just estimate.
It's not even. It's definitely not in the hundreds. It's far less than that, I'm pretty sure. I'm relatively sure of that. So no, it's most certainly not an astronomical number. There are 20,000 staff in the city of Tshwane, and overwhelmingly 99% of them are not suspended. 99.5%, I suspect. Most certainly, it's not a high number.
All right, Jordan Griffiths, I hope you solve the problem quite speedily so that us as taxpayers can stop paying for someone who may or may not even be qualified to do the job. Jordan Griffiths there from the city of Tshwane. Well,